All right, Jack. What are your thoughts?
It's so, it was so good. Uh,
Being good.
no, there's no more. No, it's over.
It is over, man.
It's fucking.
I,
Farmer Coon was real. Oh, oh my god.
so what's your opinion on yams and
Ugh. The one thing I didn't see coming was that shit where Aaron had told Mikasa and Armin the plan and was erasing their memories, but that they remembered at the end. That was the only shit that, like, I didn't see coming, but it was so good. It was so good.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't.
What don't you like? Like, what about the finale that you don't like?
The bird.
What about it? It's cute. That's fun.
Aaron's
That
the
ruined it
bird,
for
bro.
you? The bird?
No, it didn't. It didn't ruin it. Like, I expected something more, and like not everyone to survive, kind of thing. Like
The only thing I'm shocked about is they didn't. I guess Wormcoon just died.
Yeah, exactly. Just like when Aaron kicked the bucket and everyone turned back into normal people, it was like, oh yeah, Worm could have just like Steam. Bye bye.
Yeah, I mean, like the only legitimate complaint I have is like there was no reason to turn them into Titans other than just sheer shock value. Just for like, for a month they're all Titans now. You have to deal with it now. They're Titans, and then 10
Also,
pages in.
what the hell is up with like the Mikasa? Ymir chose Mikasa as the one, for, you waited 2,000 years.
Yeah,
Just for that, bro. Just for that, bro. Like, what the hell? Like I expected that. Oh, I have to become mass murderer so that I can do the things for you guys. It's like I want to be with you guys, but I have to be the bad guy. Like I expected that.
That's what happened. That's like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I don't see the complaint. That's what happened.
well, I mean, he had to kill 80% of the human population.
Like,
to do
no,
it.
like in his past conversation, and like where he's talking to Armin, it's like, yeah, man, like this, like I have to do these things. It's like, oh, ever since Historia.
Since Historia.
Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. What's your complaint?
And then just like, oh yeah, I have food for my casa and everything and stuff, and then I had to go. I had to make sure everything went. I don't know. It's just.
Well,
I mean, it's more of a small sacrifice.
What stuff says is that if Armin even calls him when he predicts it, he's like, did you become the bad guy to make us look good? And Aaron's like, yeah, you're right. That's what I did.
Henceforth, why he said only you, Armin, can save the world.
Oh, dude, when they hugged and you said that, I was so happy. I was like, oh, Aaron's been saying it for years. Armin was gonna be the one to save humanity.
And who knew Armin knew it the entire time?
Without even knowing, until he dealt the final blow.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt here. I fucking called Jack loving it. You fucking said he was gonna hate it, Brandon, but I knew. I knew. When it comes to like confusing shit just ending weird, he loves it. Nier, yup.
It ended. I mean, my one criticism, this chapter was omega predictable. This was like, like, dude, when chapter 138 called and people were basically just writing the plot synopsis to this one. It's not like this was a holy shit left field chapter. Like, dude, even like today, I was like thinking, I'm like, I wonder, because I was like, usually fan theories that seem too obvious to be true usually aren't. But I was like, I don't know. I feel like Attack on Titan's gonna go the way we all think it goes, because I think everyone's thinking inside the AOT box now, and it did. Like the craziest shit, the shit that really threw me for a loop was few things. One, the fact that they all knew, or that Aaron told Armin and Mikasa and was erasing their memories, because they set that shit up forever ago. with Historia and Frida. So I was like, oh shit, totally forgot the Founding Titan can just erase memories. And then the You Are Free thing was Grisha to Eren, and it was not the final shot. I was like, okay, one, that was cool, and two, a freaking Eren sending the Smiling Titan to eat his mom because all the founders technically exist at once, I guess. That shit was creepy. I was like, oh my god, Eren really is fucked up. He, as good of a person he is to make everyone a good guy, he really is fucking crazy.
So what do you think he asked Reiner why his mom had to die in that one? I forget when he had that conversation. But he was like, why did my mom have to die, bro? I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's trying to, like, gauge, because, I mean, he says it at the end, he's trying to see if Reiner has the same thought process as him. Like, you know, Eren's basically like, look, I get it. You were trying to be a hero. Like, you know, Reiner admits it, like, I wanted to be a hero, and Eren's like, you were trying to kill the enemies of the world. You were going to murder them. We are devils to you. You know, we weren't people to feel sorry for. And Eren's like, and same with you guys. You know, I learned there were people outside the walls who turned people into titans and wanted us dead, and you think, oh, they're monsters, the Marlenes are evil, and then Eren says, and guess what? You're not. You are people to be sympathetic for. People like you and Falco are nice, and that's why Eren literally says, I'm the same as you. And in that way, he's saying, like, I'm also no better than you.
Eren was not free and oh my god. I'm just reading a whole bunch of the comments of on Titanfall.
Yeah, a lot of people are not fans.
Well, what's it called? He killed. What I'm surprised about, he killed 80% of the human population. Like, what the fuck?
I'm glad he gave us a number of Eren's kill count.
It's like, yeah, how much you kill? I don't know, maybe 80%, 85, somewhere around there.
He killed so many fucking people. Oh my god.
So Eren ate the founder of the Warhammer Titan not to use it's got like powers to liberate his people, but to simply spawn other Titans on his back and erase some chats with Armin and Mikasa.
Fucking. Well, I mean, I kind of like it. Like, they literally say at the end, like it's not like a perfect ending. Like, the freaking Jaegerists won. They overthrew Paradis, and as far as they're concerned, they're ready to go back to war. Like, you know, all of Marley is like, or the allied nations are like, hey, they can't turn into Titans anymore. But remember when they committed an 80% genocide? That's not cool.
Eren becomes Dove, crying, can't believe the meme came true. Out of all the things that could have possibly happened, who could have seen this coming? The meme is real. We are truly in the most incomprehensible timeline now.
By the way, I hope you all know I'm recording this because I needed that your first opinion of it, Jack.
Ugh, I thought Levi was gonna die when he saw the scouts because I didn't realize they were all seeing dead people, and I was like, no, I literally shouted, I was like, Levi, you're at the fucking finish line, make it!
Yeah, I thought he died there too.
Reiner,
no, but he's alive, my man's chilling. He's got Falco and Gabby.
Reiner,
Wait, wasn't Gabby the one that killed Sasha?
Yeah, but I mean, like, everyone has done a lot of shitty shit to each other. I think they all gotta learn to forgive and forget. That's like the whole point. Like, that's the whole point. They can't hold grudges anymore. They literally cannot afford to.
No.
Reiner, you killed my mom. I also killed my mom. We are the same. Eren undoes all his character development, becomes a simp. Reiner undoes all of his character development and becomes a simp. Otter.
Eren went back to season 1, Eren.
Oh my god. Really? What do you do?
Do.
Oh, dude, Levi gave the salute. It's so good.
The way H.M. explained Yu's attachment to the world because she loved her abuser. That was disturbing. Stockholm Syndrome is a bitch. Sipping for a guy who never showed her an ounce of affection. No wonder she chose Mikasa. Gotta meet that parallels quota.
I was gonna say, you know, it's a very real thing.
I mean, yeah, just look at Sasuke and Sakura.
Can you believe Historia married Farm Coon? He was real the whole time.
Wait. Oh shit, you're right, it was Farm God.
He was real. He was a real person. He's the luckiest human being alive. Can you imagine if you bullied the president when you guys were kids?
And then you get to marry her.
They become president, you knock them up, and they marry you, and then the world just gets better.
Yeah.
He's the real hero of our story. Farm Coon made out like a fucking bandit.
Dina didn't eat Aaron's mom. If he had let her eat Berthold, she'd get the Colossal Titan, make contact with Grisha, and save Eldia. Let that sink in.
That's why
Wait, say that again?
If Dina didn't eat Aaron's mom and he let her eat Berthold, she'd get the Colossal Titan and make contact with Grisha and save Eldia. Let that sink in. Killed his mother, betrayed his brother, manipulated his father to kill children. Now you're preaching. That's it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The worst part of this chapter, in front of her enemy who burned down her home, killed her father, tore out her tongue, and she continues to submit that Founder Ymir was in love with Carl Fritz. That they basically lampshade this, have Eren say that only she knows why Mikasa freed her and why she loved him is so bad.
Yeah, leading up to Mikasa part, that part I didn't really understand.
I took that as like, as in like, you know, this whole series is about cycles, so of course, you know, Eren's a good stand-in for the Founder, because he is, and, you know, Mikasa is emotionally, in this instance, she is someone who, despite knowing better, is still in love with the person she's in love with, but it's, you know, Mikasa was able to rise up above it, and despite still not being okay, the fact that she walked out of the smoke crying and holding Eren's head was a little disturbing, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Funny that they were just fine holding Eren's head, and I was like, listen, I get that's all you have of him, but like, put the head down, it's a little weird, but like emotionally, like I think that's what Ymir was waiting for someone who, despite being in her position, being enamored for the Founder, able to break this cycle, to, you know, rise up against them and kill them, despite Mikasa's feelings, because it's not like she hates Eren, she kisses him immediately after killing him. So I think that's what Ymir was waiting for, was for someone who had the guts to pull the trigger and end it, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, that it's not like the Ackermans aren't significant. They're, according, you know, from what Eren told us, they're a race, you know, not, for lack of a better term, created to protect the Founder. So what better way to break a cycle than have someone whose family for generations was to...
Yeah, the Protector kill the protectee.
Exactly. And also, in terms of cycles for our own series, how great is it that, you know, the cover, you know, the mascot of the series, the character on the first volume, the Colossal Titan, the new holder of it is now our protagonist. You know, is our hero, is the person who saved the day. You know, in Chapter 1, you root for Eren against the Colossal Titan, and in Chapter 138, you root for the Colossal Titan against Eren.
All those people also probably didn't want to die. Yeah, probably.
Oh, 80%? Yeah.
Oh, it was so good, though. Like, I love how, like, Eren wasn't like, this was the best route. It's legitimately like, it's just the one I picked. Because it's like, you know, he didn't know.
There are 4,605 outcomes, and which one do we win in? One.
The world still hates parodies. Eren acknowledged that there would probably still be war. If he really wanted his friends to be safe, why didn't he complete the rumbling before he started jobbing? And don't give me that he needed the Alliance to kill Haluchan. They're literally omnipotent when it comes to Eldians. They jobbed the entire time, and the Alliance got ridiculous friendship buff.
What's what Kami?
I fucking hate people. Someone said Chapter 140 will make or break the series. Don't give up copium. Oh,
Lead the
God.
Founder Ymir, be the OG story beginner. Choose 2 Eldians at random. Control one of them with some memory hypnosis shit that he lures the second Eldian across the continent. Watch the second Eldian slice the head off the first one. Smile while she fucking kisses the severed head. Fetish satisfied that PNG. Dismiss the flesh mecha power that was shrouded in mystery since the beginning of the story.
Oh, I see.
refused to elaborate further. Leave story without finishing it.
Berto was supposed to die, which is why he sent Dinah to go kill. Okay.
Or, well, rather, you know, if they hadn't intervened, he probably would have. You know, why would a Titan just ignore a person?
Right.
This was a massive mess. Bootleg SAO ending, but worse.
Damn.
Not that bad. I don't.
She did
like-
everything she knows. No one could understand. Founder Ymir. She waited 2,000 years for someone to free her. Mikasa freed her. Sorry, this doesn't make sense.
I ship it.
It makes
I
sense.
think I think it's funny people are pissed off because literally for the last 10 chapters, every time a chapter comes out, someone's like, Isayama can't fucking write anymore. He doesn't know how to end the series. And then 2 weeks later, or like a week before the next chapter, they're like, oh, that chapter was so good. You just didn't understand the symbolism.
Rebelled Eren after Rebellion started when you broke free. Mikasa was literally fighting against the card titan to save Eren as a good slave would. Even if she could see the future with the help of paths, why wait 2,000 years? She could have been free from minute zero instead of a mindless slave until Eren appeared in paths. Bootleg Requiem Zero, but worse.
Bootleg Requiem Zero.
So just like Tyber, you did all this to drive the heat away from Paradise. 10 pages later, Eren, why did I did this? I forgot. Eren, Armin, it's time for you to leave. I'm going to erase your memories. The whole point of Requiem Zero is to have a scapegoat to use for world peace. Lelouch sacrificed himself and told Suzuki the rest of the world to take advantage of it.
Requiem Zero's the JoJo. No, that's Golden Requiem. Never mind.
The Zero Requiem from Code Geass.
Okay.
Lelouch does make it will hate him while threatening it, not destroying it. Eren literally killed 80% of the will if 10% is parity.
I thought it was JoJo's. As a JoJo's fan, I'm supposed to fill up that quota.
The cycle of hatred was not stopped, not even paused. Peace is being negotiated. More things that made no sense. The rest of the chapter makes no sense. Hallucigenia disappears out of the blue, just as it was winning? Question mark. Added to the rest of things that make no sense. Why mindless titans need the sun to move? Nino wasn't irregular because Eren willed it. What about the other irregulars that have always existed and were more vicious, mindless titans? Why Ramsey saw Ymir laughing as he died if he was not an Eldian? Why Hallucigenia appeared out of the blue when Eren's titan was destroyed? Why Eren appeared as another entity when Hallucigenia was supposed to be his spinal cord? Why Eren lost founding titan powers when his titan was destroyed? That never happened before. Why Eren is not in the neck of the founding titan, where all the titan shifters are? The wall of titans disappear, leaving no humans behind. Titans are humans. You can't just make titans out of nothing.
Well, I mean, when you have the Warhammer Titan, you don't really have to be
the
anywhere.
Warhammer one that's pretty obvious.
You can be anywhere.
You can be in its dick.
Yeah.
Why the hell Hallucigenia fought back if Ymir was in control all the time? Why titanize Reiner and Annie peak families? What Eren
So they
I
could
don't think Ymir was controlling Hallucigenia. I think that thing was just kind of like, it's literally life. It's just trying to survive. So,
what
you know,
what
founder
Eren made Grisha that made him move forward. How could Mikasa have freed Ymir if Mikasa is still a slave to her love and cannot move forward?
Because she broke the curse.
Well, all right. So, all right. So,
Worst
wait, Brendan, slow down.
Okay.
Slow down. Okay.
This is a lot.
This person, they have good qualms. I think a lot of people aren't sitting down and actually thinking about shit. I'll go through some of the stuff I remember. One, why the rumbling just stopped. Yeah, that's a little weird. They said that if the wall titans were in sunlight, they would move. However, doesn't really matter because it seems like 10 minutes later, they all just disappeared anyway. So, good for them. So it's not like, listen, if the battle had went on even longer, I'd have been like, all right, these fucking wall titans should just be going apeshit right now. They disappear. So yeah, that's a fuck up on Isayama. He forgot, but hey, thankfully he didn't forget. You know, it didn't matter. All right. In terms of how come Ymir was able to break the curse, she's not a slave to the love Ymir has. It's supposed to be, you know, symbolically she's going through the same things. There's no, oh well, the curse of the founding titan also has the curse of the love for the founding titan. It's supposed to be a parallel. You know, this series is all about parallels and cycles and how you're supposed to deviate from them no matter who's been wronged most recently and who deserves to be wronged, because if you keep going in a cycle, you'll only forever stay in it. Eventually someone's got to break it or otherwise nothing will happen. So, in terms of, I don't know,
There's parallels to everything, so without
there's more.
My only complaint is Wormcoon. Like, I just don't know why you would introduce Wormcoon for him to not, like, at least show up at the end.
Well, I mean, I think introducing him is good. I do think it's kind of weird that you don't even see him, like, die. I guess it was sort of like...
I mean, you could say he disappeared with the mist.
I see it coming, like, how it comes out of the Founding Titan body when they blow up Eren's head. It's almost like, headless chicken. Like, it's just desperately trying to get to Eren before it dies. And then when Eren dies, it's like, huh, the founder is dead. Like, the thing that is gonna keep me alive is dead. Like, even when Eren first got unlocked the powers, how did it happen? It was Wormcoon coming out of his body, attaching to his head.
I would have at least liked, you know, something with Wormcoon.
See Wormcoon disappear, but I don't know.
At least a panel or two. That's all.
But I mean, he's dead. It's not like it matters. You know, all the people turn back.
Hey, it matters to me, man. Wormcoon was the love of my life.
Wormcoon, best character.
Worst character portrayal of the entire story. Eren? No. Founder Ymir. She was made a slave when she was a kid. She was tortured, her family murdered, and her tongue ripped out. The king almost kills her with hunters as she desperately ran for her life. The king decided to make her a breeding machine to create a line of titans, while not his wife. While Ymir was taking care of her daughters, the king was flirting with multiple women. The king felt zero concern when Ymir was in the floor after taking an arrow shot by a group of resistance soldiers. The king made her daughters eat her remains once killed, and she was in love with him for 2,000 years doing his will as a willful slave in the name of love. Are you joking, Isayama?
How is this not a revelation?
Character. Even if Ymir was in her life, how are you supposed to believe that she was madly in love and at the same time okay when the king she loved had flirted with other women in her face while she beautifully stood there on one side?
And she knew she was important to him in some way. So I mean,
no.
For a man.
How is this a revelation? That argument literally disproves itself. She's a Titan. The minute she got her powers, she could, a character assassination. This is pretty in character for her. She was a Titan. She was a literal god. And what does she do? She sleeps with him, has kids. He says, "You're gonna bear my kids." She probably should have turned into a Titan and ate him right there, but she didn't. She could, when he said, "Go kill the Marley," she could have said, "Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna eat you." When he said, "I'm gonna go fuck other women," she could have killed him. It's pretty obvious she died for him. She took a spear.
No. But I think the problem is that she was not treated in a way where it would make any logical or even emotional
It's
sense
like Sakura. It's like Sakura the Sasuke, right?
Even that has something. There's if anything, there's way more reason to dislike than like this guy. The fuck?
This reads like an incel fanfiction of how women behave.
That's the whole point. You're not supposed to agree with
that's how women behave.
Okay, this seriously reads like an incel fanfiction of how women behave and how a woman would still be happily beautiful to a man that mistreats and cheats on her in her face because she knows that's her place.
Why does everyone suddenly think this series can't write women? Do you not remember Historia? Or Mikasa?
I was gonna say, yeah. Or Ymir.
This is one female is written to be Stockholmy, who's like supposed to be wrong, and suddenly the series is like writing women poorly?
It's anti-feminist, it's anti-color.
What about other Ymir?
Petra? Let's not forget, Rico, this series had some pretty, this series is not shy on strong women. We have one character who's written, that's the whole point. Like, granted, I would like to see some reason why she liked the king. I would have liked to see maybe he saved her once, and from there maybe Ymir's fucking crazy, but I don't think you're supposed to look at.
There's no reasoning given.
I will give you that. There's no reason other than
it comes off as shit.
Yeah. To me, it's just all right. Yeah, we should have a better reason, but I don't know. It's just
Annie to live a long, happy life. Also, Reiner saying that what a man Eren is for the sacrifice he made. Lamau, this is truly a comedy in the end.
Oh, that part definitely did feel like they were jerking off Eren's ego.
Yeah.
I was like, they really love him now. I would have liked a little more anger.
I was waiting for John to be like, "You suicidal maniac," or call him by his nickname.
Okay.
He called him a compentious something. He called him something, but I was like, suicidal maniac would have been better, but they're dumbass. They're just something mean about him.
He called him conscientious damned fool. That's not.
Conscientious damn fool.
I'd rather his nickname.
That's still like stroking his ego though, because it's something you would say about like someone you care about over like.
Mikasa, find a way to forget me and please please move on. Actual Aaron, bitch, you best not forget. I want you sad and mourning forever. Aaron was the real Chad all along.
That was cute though. That Aaron finally was like, "I want her to like me." That was cute though. Even Armin's like,
Yeah.
"Huh, that's kind of
Aaron
weird to
in
hear something awkward from you."
Aaron in 138, forget about me. Aaron in 139, you can't move on and find another guy.
I mean, that's
Are
what
we
he
still
wants,
are
is
we
to
still
be-
on this man's post?
No, I've been
Okay.
off of it.
No, it's just that the subreddit hates Attack on Titan whenever it comes out, so you will not find anything positive ever. You have to wait a month.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why Isayama said that he was going to build an Onsen of Our Tears, because he knew everyone can't handle something being predictable or not up to their standards. I think this is the first time in my life where like I'm not on the like anger bandwagon, where I'm just like, this is fun. I'm like, this is just a great chapter.
Yeah, I'm used to hearing you actually complaining about the last chapter on stuff you read sometimes. Like
Cause,
half of
Yeah.
the times.
like I remember with WandaVision, you were just like, that was pretty predictable and it was okay, but this is like best
Yeah, but this
chapter
is
ever.
I was just more invested in this.
This person's comment. Things I liked. I really liked how Aaron became a slave to the path Ymir set him on. I love the irony that comes from that. Aaron communicating with all his close friends prior to the battle and then wiping out their memory and restoring it after he was killed is a good thing to add. I just wish he and Pete could have talked, but not like they knew each other. I like how confused and overwhelmed Aaron seemed due to all the knowledge and memories he had while he seemed to be in control earlier in the manga. This really emphasized that he was completely lost and overwhelmed with the power he had with the founder. I also like the addition of Aaron saving Berthold when they first attacked. I like the conclusion and when the story went 3 years after. Things I didn't like. The whole thing about Mikasa being the one who freed Ymir, saying, I don't know, only Ymir will know. It's a shit explanation in my eyes. I can maybe understand why Ymir loved King Fritz from a Stockholm Syndrome point of view, but they don't explain how Mikasa freed her from that, or why it had to be her. To be honest, I don't like the whole, well, I don't want to die, I love Mikasa stuff from Aaron. The whole worm thing just appearing last chapter and disappearing this chapter. It went from Reiner wrestling with it to possibly being overwhelmed just to not being even mentioned in this chapter. It would have been better if they had showed the POV of Reiner as the power of the Titans disappeared instead of showing Falco crashing
I
into
agree.
the ground.
That would have been that would have been much better. I liked the Falco thing, but like, yeah, I agree. I would have liked a whole like Rhina's gonna get eaten. One more plot armor Titan scene. I would have liked one more plot armor Titan.
That's the kind of like main thing I don't really like is just like, oh, like why is like Mikasa the one? Oh, Ymir knows and that's about it. And then just like I feel like they just could have explicitly said it out more rather than be like, whoa, you gotta think. And Ymir has that like intense Stockholm syndrome stuff, and it's just like, okay, but pretty much everything else is just like I'm okay with. It's just that like how should I say? It's like I just expected more things, like exactly like, oh yeah, Reiner still fighting the Titan and seeing everything go away instead of being like, oh yeah, you just lost all the Titans. What about Worm? Oh, he's gone and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, like,
I hate it
that would
from
have been nice. That would have been nice, but like, is it really gonna like? Is it gonna turn like someone's 3 out of 10 rating into a 10 out of 10 if you see everything that's like implied?
Historia whole
Fucking the chapter name was so good though.
Zeke
I
died
liked
for
it.
nothing.
What was the name of the chapter? Brandon never told me.
It was the tree that I think it's something like the tree that the tree that stands
tree
on
the hill. Facing that tree
Yeah.
on the hill.
Ah.
because it was in reference to the tree that Aaron, Mikasa, and Armin race to, and the tree that Aaron wakes up under in chapter 1, and where he is buried in this chapter.
Like,
So it's a full circle.
So the
It
reason
all
why I
comes
don't
together.
chapter is that like I don't feel that much from it being a final chapter. If that makes sense. The first thing I said to Kyle was like, meh.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that it doesn't necessarily even reading it, it kind of feels like it's just like, oh, we're at the end.
Yeah.
It's like making a turn on a street and you're like, huh, it's a dead end already.
Like I say I hate it, but it's more like I hate that it doesn't give me more to be like, ah, yes, like this is the end. It's just like, oh yeah, it's the end. All right.
I didn't like it because, well, A, I just wanted everybody to die because I thought it'd be funny, but B, and granted, I'm not like that big in Attack on Titan, so like it doesn't matter to me. But I just thought it'd just be funny if everybody was just like, "All right, Worm-kun is now taking over. Everyone's dead. Goodbye."
For me, I knew that they were gonna win, and like Armin was gonna like be seen as the hero, but I thought there were gonna be like more casualties and not everyone like not having their Titan powers removed.
Let's see.
Yeah, for me it was a bit underwhelming. I think it was more or less what Jack felt with WandaVision, like he was just less invested in that, so like I was just less invested in this, so when it was predictable I was just like, huh. I didn't expect that.
I kind of wished, like, even though that he removed the Titans from them, I kind of wish the one thing he couldn't remove was their time to kind of cause more of an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like I was thinking it was gonna go 3 ways. I was like, okay, either one, when they kill Aaron and Worm-kun, which I didn't think that killing Aaron would kill Worm-kun. I was like, all right, when that happens, everyone will not be a Titan. I'm like, okay, that's good. Another option would be like, or my second option was that Rhina, Peak, and Annie were gonna sacrifice themselves to Jean, Connie, and Gabby, and let them eat them. And then they were going to kill all the Titans, and that the series narration was going to be like Armin's last memoirs. And, then it was going to be like, oh, in like 6 years, Jean, Connie, and Gabby are going to die, and so is Falco, and then there's going to be no more Titan shifters, and we've all agreed we're not going to pass on the power anymore. Or like something like, oh, when Aaron dies, it's like, oh, Eldians can't turn into Titans anymore except for the shifters, so when we're gone, they'll be gone too. But, oh, by the way, they explained why the series is being narrated by Armin, because it's a recollection of what exactly has happened for their peace talks. It's so good. It's so good.
That's clever.
Because that's what he says, like, we need to recount, everything that has happened to us so we can move forward, and he looks up to the sky, and it's like, ugh. That's why Armin narrates the series, because think about it, he is someone who experienced the Eldian side of it, but he's also an ambassador for the Allied Nations now. Like, he's literally the perfect person to do it.
But yeah, okay, my most satisfying interpretation of this, Ymir wished he'd mind Mikasa's decision to kill Eren. Mikasa was up to the man who caused her pain and stopped him, something Ymir wished she could do. Seeing that bravery set her free and ended the Titan curse. Eren's plan worked. Rumblin wiped out most of their opponents, Marley remnants of the world, Clarice and confident. While they're working out peace negotiations, Sparta prepared for war just in case. Eren still cared about his friends and did everything he did to protect them in the future. Maybe the insult Eren was seriously flawed was of representing that deep down, he's still the childlike, reckless, emotional Eren we used to be annoyed by. Still terrible though. I'm deeply disappointed about the fact that Eren killed his mom. I hate the insult Eren scene. But I feel like if I stick to my interpretation, something that Eren didn't die for nothing, and somewhat caused peace, Ymir's free, and ended the Titan curse through Mikasa. That was Mikasa. That Mikasa moved on in general, but with solemn sadness for Eren. I can keep moving forward. I can be free. Maybe a 6 out of 10 ending.
This was definitely a good ending. It's just it could have been a little bit more heart wrenching, I think.
I think it definitely
Okay.
could have hit a little harder. It definitely feels like the ending is way too positive. Like Attack on Titan has positive and like light moments, but like there's always this
For
like
this?
sneak in the end where you're like, it's not gonna last. But like since it's the end, I think that's where it's coming from. Where it's like, everyone's happy and everyone's fine, and I know this is the ending, so it's gonna be fine forever. But like like at the end of season 3, part 1, you think like, the scouts are gonna go save Shinganshina, but they gotta go fight the Titans. That's not gonna be all that fun. Or like the end of season 3, it's like, yay, they made it to the ocean, and they have a whole world that hates them on the other side of it. But like in this one, it's like they killed Eren, and the world may be genocided, but it's the end of the story, so you know there's not gonna be anything.
On the plus side, we also have less enemies now, only 10% or less.
I won't lie, it was better than the translated version than the leaks. If we ignore the fact that Aaron's character took a complete 180, then I would say it's an okayish ending. Definitely not AOT level power hate.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a 180 more. He more had like a persona that he just kept.
Yeah, I think he was just being real with Armin. You know, putting Mikasa at a distance. You know, he's literally prepping her to kill him. What better way to get her ready for that than to be like, like if you had to the woman you love, if you had to like, or someone you really cared about, you're like they have to hurt for whatever reason in our bizarre scenario.
So you kind of like have to push them away.
Yeah, you'd be like, wouldn't I may feel better about doing it? Like, if someone told you, you have to kill me, and you loved it, that would hurt you. But if they were like, I fucking hate you, you're a piece of shit, I hope you die, by the way, you have to kill me, you'd probably be like, okay. But, like, Mikasa is also not, not sane. So, she still wants to protect Eren, and it takes everything up until the Eren yogurt scene for her to be like, okay.
I got the next one. Right. So yeah, this ending was not only incoherent, but it felt super weak thematically. The main theme of the series, freedom, was probably even that present in this chapter. The peace felt rushed, and the love stuff felt out of place. Nothing really sticks out to you, and it feels forced. Ymir was dealt with off-screen when she was built up to be very important. The story of Baby was anticlimactic. Nothing makes sense. Sigh. Really is a shame. I truthfully believe that he changed the ending mid-arc. Oh well, thank you Isayama for all your time. I wish the best for whatever you have planned next.
What do you mean? Everyone made everything go around Eren. Doesn't mean that has to be the case. Historia could have actually done something that didn't involve Eren or anyone else. Hence the baby with the farm coon.
I think Farmer Coon's a real Chad.
The baby was like a mega red herring.
Exactly. Everyone kept thinking like, oh, it's Aaron's kid. He kept talking about, I wanted a kid. What happened a couple chapters later? Historia is pregnant.
Yeah, but like, they basically confirmed like it's not Aaron's kid. Like like everyone was where that scene where Historia is like, what if I have a kid? And like they look at each other and it pans away. Everyone assumed Aaron said to her, what if I give you a kid? But it legitimately just seems like when the scene pans away, Eren is just like, yeah, you should go get pregnant, and then like walks away. Rather than Eren being like, go lay in the hay, I'll be there in 3 minutes. And then, she probably found Farm Coon and was like, huh, he seems nice, and Eren said I should go get pregnant.
Well, Eren was her friend. He was acting. He had to be cold. That's literally the point. He's the crying Eren that he has always been, crying in every arc, always crying, but after seeing the future, he had to do what after seeing the future, he had to do what he had to do to get the final outcome. He had to fake it. He had to convince his friends to stop him, that once he starts the rumbling, only they can stop him. He had to convince himself that he could handle what he was about to do. Tatakai. There was no character assassination. It was a front for his mission, which resulted in the ending of the Titans and putting Paradis on an even playing field with the rest of the world, while at the great cost of his own life, losing his years to grow old with his friends and love, and millions of innocents. It was not without sacrifice, but he finally annihilated all the Titans.
So is this someone complimenting it, or is this someone hating on it?
I think it's 50-50.
I think it's complimenting, well, at least Aaron's whole like character 180 thing.
I mean, what do you guys think, like, was his main pushing point? Like, the ceremony when he touched Historia's hand when he saw the future, or when he saw...
That's exactly when he saw
Oh.
Yeah, because
right.
even in what do you call it? in the chapter when they're in the paths and you see Grisha kill the family, Eren is like, when I kissed Historia's hand, I saw my dad's memory, and through my dad's memories, I saw my memories. And that's how he kind of tricked his way into seeing the future.
God, the chapters are
Man.
blended.
Man, the ending is more realistic than more people think. Alliance members and their families got hunted down by Jaegerists until Historia ordered them to stop. Most of the world is struggling for food, but the militaristic Jaegerists are sending occupying forces to try and prevent another war. Eren is a mentally ill teenager, had a breakdown before dying instead of being calm. Light's death in Death Note was one of my favorite parts of the manga, and this definitely seemed to be inspired by that. Marlians still don't trust the aliens. Definitely better than One Piece ending that many expected, and better than Tenfolk's ending where Eren lives on parodies and lives happily ever after with Historia as the rest of the world is destroyed.
I think
Yeah,
L's
I think
death.
it's so-
Oh,
What?
I was gonna say,
I was
I
gonna-
think L's death
yeah.
for me, or Light's death for me. Oh wait, did he say L or Light?
Light.
I think Light's death for me would have been a lot more impactful if it was at the hands of L, over at the hands of, yeah, and kind of himself. Because I feel like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the N and M stuff, so, but that's just me.
I didn't like N.
Anyways, Jack, you go on. You start.
I'm reading some of these posts, and it tickles me pink that people are letting one chapter they didn't particularly like ruin the whole thing. Like, someone just said, I want my 6 years back of reading this. That's hilarious. I cannot imagine. Like, sure, you could hate the final chapter, but damn, I guess this ties into the doesn't ending ruin the series, but like
When you
damn,
think about it,
imagine, like,
Could you imagine an ending being the thing that just causes you to just hate all of it?
but when you think about it, this is the perfect ending for this anime. There's characters in a shonen living in a seinen where all their shit has been rocked, and then literally at the end everything's okay.
Like I want, like I would like my 5 weeks back that I spent watching Game of Thrones season 8, but everything pretty much up until season 7 I liked.
For me, this story and how it went
So,
through,
I don't
think
want
is
that
the
back.
best ending it could have been. It could have been a little bit teary about like I said about the Titan shifters becoming human again, but still having their time clock would have made it a little bit better for me. But I think this is honestly the best ending it could have been.
I think that an ending definitely should do with the score, because I think if it's like a really bad ending, probably 4 or 5, like maybe like 3 or 4 points probably, because like it's kind of sometimes how you leave them. But it doesn't ruin everything, you know? You still have your fond moments of it. Like, why else would you be posting on the Reddit if you didn't care that much, you know?
This isn't a bad ending. This is pretty much the best.
It's
one of the best endings
a
for this story.
okay ending.
oh, I love it.
Okay,
This,
so
it's the most predictable ending ever, but I still love it.
Alright,
I'm with you, Jack. This is a good ending. This is a good ending.
This is
It could be a little bit better, but this is definitely a good ending.
Alright, next comment. This is a fine ending and is nowhere near as bad as y'all are making it out to be. It answered the lingering questions we had about 137 and why Eren was doing nothing the whole Rumbling arc. It gave an emotional climax to a story I didn't think we'd get. It gave a realistic closure to the conflict between the world without making it too on the nose or idealistic. It gave closure to pretty much every character in the story. My main issue with it is that my main issue with it isn't even really an issue with this chapter necessarily. It's that we were barely privy to Eren's true emotional conflict this whole time. So the twist at the end that he was actually trying to save his friends by sacrificing himself doesn't nearly hit as hard. The stuff with Mikasa and Eren would have been so much more impactful if Isayama had hinted just a little more at Eren's feelings for her. It makes sense in retrospect, and we were given breadcrumbs to follow. I think this would have hit way harder if we actually known the way Eren felt this whole time.
I agree with that.
I don't mind him being the tragic hero, but Isayama really undercut his inner conflict in order to make it a twist, and I don't know how to feel about that. Of course, people will complain about stuff like Historia marrying the farmer or everyone detitanizing, but what can I say except I called it Lamau. A lot of people will probably be upset that Annie, Reiner, and Peak were forgiven while Flock died, and then you can only really blame Aaron for not giving a fuck about Flock. Apparently, the whole they killed their comrades but got to be ambassadors thing is also like meh. They were coerced into committing war crimes as children with their family members basically as hostages. There's also still a clear distrust for them amongst parodies, given what Peak said. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 as a chapter. A decent ending to what was one of my favorite manga series ever. Could the ending have been better? Sure. Could it have been worse? Well, just remember how everyone thought it would go from the early leagues. I will dearly miss reading this monthly, and I'm gladly leaving this sub.
Honestly, love that guy's comment, but what were you gonna say, Jack?
I was gonna say, that man is so wise. That person...
Can I just say I'm the one that wrote that? It's me.
You are a wise man.
You McFallen _5.
Yeah, that's me. McFallen _5 with you know.
Most of it I agree with, but the thing that they wrote about how the ending was unpredictable. Aaron literally stated from the beginning that Armin was the only one that could do it and save the world. So he made a scenario where Armin had to win. Basically, he also gave him the cards, the table. He gave him everything in the moment until it happened.
Yeah, it's like how Doctor Strange predicted the outcome, and he still decided to, teleport away.
Welcome back, Neil.
So I mean,
and give the stone to Thanos.
Because Aaron even says that before he's seen the future. So it's like it is kind of nice that Aaron that is one of the few times we legitimately just saw what Aaron feels. And what that post said earlier about getting more in Aaron's head, I wish we saw that too. It feels like the last time we were in Aaron's head was when he crushed Ramses, or Ramsey, however you say his name. I would have liked a little more because they're telling us that Aaron is very conflicted, and they've only shown us once that he was here. I would have liked to see maybe more from his point of view, maybe even during the final fight. What was Aaron thinking during all of that? What was going through his head?
I mean, when you think about it, that could also spoil his true intentions, which could also deviate how the ending would have been.
I think
you could be vague with it. You can have him say shit when in the Founding Titan, when they're all in his back, he could be like, "Do you really think you'll be able to do it?" And he might be like, "Ooh, he's so evil, he doesn't even think they can win." But in reality, he's like, "If you guys think you can do it, go for it. This is what I want."
I think that
he had mad faith in them. He put them through the fucking ringer when they were fighting. Holy shit! He took Armin right away. He was like, you're gonna work for the victory."
I think the thing is we kind of knew that he was,
gonna do this.
That this was kind of his plan, and so if we were to dive into his head, it just would have taken the way of the reveal of it, which maybe people would have been more hyped for. But for me, I think I would have loved to have seen him more as a character, I guess, over him as maybe the villain, because I don't really... Because I feel like the whole series went past the whole villain thing where it's not really as black or white anymore.
Yeah, people are just mad that they're mad at Ymir stuff. They're mad at
everyone living.
Aaron being they're not mad about everyone living. They're mad about Aaron doing the character 180 thing again.
Dude, they loved Chad. It was startling how much the sub loved genocide Aaron. They were all of Titanfolk were Jaegerists.
Yeah.
They were, if this was real life, they 100% were, when the arc started, everyone was like, "I fucking hate Flock. I don't know why Isayama keeps writing him in the story." They're like, "Aaron is such a piece of shit. He's so mean to Armin and Mikasa." 10 chapters later, the sub held a funeral for Flock because they loved him so much. He's literally the face of Titanfolk now, and they love Aaron. They were legitimately he's the greatest shonen protagonist ever, and now they hate him. They're they could fucking hate Aaron Yogurt, and they're like, "Oh, he's the worst shonen protagonist in the history of ever," and it's just damn. They really wanted Aaron to kill the world. That was Titanfolk's perfect ending, was Aaron.
So they hate Aaron 180. They hate Ymir stuff. Just in general, they hate how hallucinogenia was not mentioned at all. Alu-chan, come back.
180 more was it? It was more like a 360.
Okay. Virgin Aaron Yeager walks into a room and the Mikasa chickens out of saying "I like you," plays hobo for a year, doesn't explain anything, doesn't shower either, and dies. Chad Aaron Yogurt walks into a room, builds a fucking cabin around that room, has cabin sex in that room with Mikasa, feeds his wife with big fish, doesn't explain anything, leaves his destiny behind on his own free will.
So can I ask you guys a couple of questions
Sure.
about Attack on Titan? Because I've been recording all of this for the past.
I'm waiting for the next chapter.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm waiting for
That's fair. You're
12-4.
right. Okay. So, what was your guys' favorite arc? And why?
Cool. I was just writing down stuff too for it. My favorite arc. I think it would probably be the return to Shinganshina, which is.
Are you talking about when Marley invaded?
No, season 3, part 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's technically because it fucking sucks. There are 3 goddamn arcs with Shinganshina in the name. There's the fall of Shinganshina, then there's the return to Shinganshina, and then there's the battle of Shinganshina, which people have also called the return of Shinganshina, the battle of Shinganshina, and the battle of Shinganshina, the return of Shinganshina. So, season 3.
Confusing.
Yeah, because
Battle of Shinganshina is what's coming up now in terms of in the anime. But
So,
yeah,
okay, so return is where Reiner and Bertolt attack them. Okay. Sorry, yeah, it's just confusing with the titles of Shiganshina.
Okay.
I have to say that's also, I think, my favorite arc.
I think that one had the best. Because like one thing I loved about Attack on Titan, its fights are good. They're not crazy good. It had some of the, its fights were good, not in the sense of like, oh look at how they're beating each other up. It was like
It's how it's choreographed.
Strategy, like the second episode, because I was watching it the other day, like when they're like, it's just amazing. Like it feels like a big ass chess game. It's like, okay, on the one side they have Reina coming above the wall. On the other side of their backs of Shinganshina is just all Titan country. In front of them is a wall of mindless Titans and the Beast Titan and the Cart Titan, and behind all that is still more Titan country. They have the Armor Titan to deal with. They still don't know where the Colossal Titan is. They still need to plug the hole they're standing above, and they need to protect the horses while keeping Eren safe, while keeping casualties to a minimum, while fighting away from the wall. And then it's like, every time you think one side is winning, the other one throws a 180, like, oh shit, Reiner got the upper hand, Thunder Spear. You think Reiner's gonna die? Colossal Titan. You think he's not gonna go Titan? He does. You think the horses are fine? Rocks. You think the Beast Titan won? Levi. You think the Armor Titan won? Hanji. You think the Colossal Titan won? Eren. You think everyone's gonna die? Cart Titan.
What about you, Nick?
And then
Oh,
at
sorry.
the end of that arc, you get Reveal of the World. That's why.
I
Yeah.
do agree with them that it for me it's kind of a tie. It's the return to Shiganshina and then the attack on Marley. Because for me the attack on Marley, the moment their declaration of war, when you see Eren literally come out of nowhere, destroy Tiber, and then you see all the scouts out of nowhere in their new uniforms and pitch black, literally assassinating everyone back and forth, and just see how they are like talking to each other as if like they went through hell, which they did, and then just basically push forward just to survive basically the same way that they tried to kill them for them. And then for my favorite and most thing for me is when the Titan shifters were like, you know how they're like all high and mighty. It's like, oh, we're Titans, they're not gonna do shit to us. My favorite reaction was Pac when they just kept charging at him. It was like,
I love it in the anime when he's like, you're really coming to kill me, and it's just all the scouts.
yeah.
It's so good.
And then another thing that I liked was basically how they literally thought that how they killed Zeke, but in then reality, he double crossed them, which I thought was a perfect touch.
I remember I was shocked. I was like, what? It's like monkeys on our side?
And then the moment when freaking Falco and Gabby found out, the literal line that just stuck in my head was like when they spoke to Zico, where they were like, "How did it go?" I was like, "Oh, there was just a few miscalculations." They show up in the room, was like, "Oh, where are they?" Few miscalculations, and it just ends there. That was my favorite part of how it could have ended.
So just quick interest. This is like I really want to like one day have like this sort of conversation, but with a show that we all watch together at the same time, and like
that way Neil and Kyle can join in on the fun too.
Yeah.
One day we'll have our Keijo discussion when we watch it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll explain because you weren't in call during that, but we all want to watch a show together, and we've decided it's either A, going to be Keijo, or B, Jujutsu Kaisen as our first one.
I'm let me see what Keijo is again. I definitely down.
It's the one where the girls are in like a pool and they can only hit each other with their boobs or their butts.
Oh, okay. Either one I'm okay with then.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad. So I wanted to ask, do you guys have a least favorite arc? If you don't, it's fine. But I just figured I'd ask anyways.
I loved all of them, but which one I liked the least? I'd say probably. I guess you could count this as. Well, I guess my least favorite is the 57th expedition. I still like it, but it's like.
Is that the one where Levi's squad died?
Yeah, that's the one where they're in the forest for a while, and it's like the first scouting mission they go on.
Yeah, I feel like that. I agree with you because that one felt like it was dragged on way too much. Because prior hand, everything was at a really good pace, and then you get to 5-6 episodes with like, oh, we're still in the forest fighting the female titan, yada yada yada, and then we're getting the aftermath.
They are legitimately running from the titan for like 2 episodes. It's kind
of
like that. I think that's where the series' pacing was at its worst. Was in the 57th expedition because that felt long. I also think season 2 didn't have amazing pacing, but I think season 2 just had more interesting things going on. So you're like, all right, the pacing's really weird, but I'm really intrigued. Where like the 57th expedition, you're like, yeah, it's cool they're on their first scouting mission, but it's like the female titan shows up and then she kills a few people and then she leaves and then she shows up again and then kills a few people and then she chases them for 2 episodes and then she kills more people and then they leave.
But that intro, the opening for season 2 was like a banger. That freaking guitar solo, I love that part.
Yeah, that's a pretty good.
Do you guys?
What about you guys?
Yeah.
What's your least favorite?
No, I agree with you about that one. That was the thing I did not like.
Similar sentiments.
That's fair.
Agrees.
Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite character? Like who's your favorite character? I know it's like asking you to pick one of your children.
I can pick my children quite easily.
I could too. I just have to think.
All right, Jack, go pick your child.
All right, Armin.
Yeah, okay.
If not him, Levi, but dude, Armin is just because he's always been a very smart person. He has not always been strong, but it was Armin's wits that kept him about himself. And Aaron says it best. Armin, they would not have won nearly as much if Armin wasn't there. So yeah, I've always liked Armin the most. I've always resonated with the character who like granted he gets the colossal titan in the end.
I've always resonated with the character that has the same hair color and same eyes as me.
Yeah, fucking coconut head looking ass. But,
Jack, I'm sorry if that's if that's mean or bad. I'm just trying to make a joke.
I'm mad because you figured it out. I came up with this fake deep reason, and you hit the nail on the head right away.
I know.
See, me easy. Because Levi, sword get versus Titan, go Burr.
For me, it's kind of a tie between 2 to 3 characters: Erwin, Reiner, and Aaron.
Ooh.
No, all great picks.
Because Erwin, he literally had the most dedication and would keep moving forward no matter what obstacle stopped him. Reiner, literally nothing could kill him, even though he wanted to, but he kept pushing forward. Yeah. And Eren, I'm gonna say this, best tactician throughout the entire show. He literally mapped everyone into any situation he wanted, no matter what.
As it was destined.
Yeah, as if it
Yeah.
was destined, yeah.
My favorite character is still Wormcoon.
Go, Grandpa, go.
Go, Grandpa, go! I'm just trying. Wait, what?
What were your guys' least favorite character?
Ooh, I didn't hate any. Like, granted, like, the guy who, like, killed Grisha's sister I fucking hated, but, like, I wouldn't really, like, consider him a character. He's just kind of, like, I feel like everyone.
I don't think I don't particularly have anyone that I hate.
Mine is
this
definitely
is-
the Smiling Titan after we played that fucking game, Brandon.
Oh yeah,
I-
yes. We need to get the Attack on Titan deck for the game so that we can all play together
Hell
and
yeah.
experience the pain together. That is that game.
Yeah, no, I think, like, the one reoccurring character where I was always like, fuck them, was Gabby. To this day. Even reading the chapter, and I saw her old, and, like, so happy she does not have, I think her one line is Falco. And I was so happy. And
Yeah.
I was cute that she, like, flips him over, but I was a little disappointed that she was alive. I was like, she needs to die.
She
Like,
couldn't
I
get a
get-
scar or something.
Like, I get, like, the whole thing with Gabby is Isayama literally wants to hand you a character you so badly, and he puts her on a silver platter for you, and you're supposed to, like, you're supposed to be nickel. You're supposed to be like, fuck this bitch, I'm gonna kill her, and then Mr. Browse is supposed to be like, here's why that's not a good idea, and you're supposed to be like, I'm a fucking idiot, I was wishing death on a 12-year-old. I still wish death on this 12-year-old. Fuck Gabby.
Yeah, I agree with you, but for me, it's Annie. Literally, she's the definition of double standards.
Yeah,
She didn't wanna kill people. She kills people. She didn't want to witness people. No, she didn't want to witness people die. She kills a bunch of people. She didn't want to be a part of a war. Didn't want to be a warrior. She became a warrior for some reason. She's a literal walking double standard, which pisses me off.
I think
So she's a
when
hypocrite.
she's in the forest- Yeah, when they were
Yes.
in the forest before they got to the boat, I think you really shot her character in the foot. Because, like, when they were going to the wall in the flashback, she had a really strong sense of character. She was literally like, fuck the Marlians, fuck the Eldians, all of this is stupid. I just want to go home so my dad can live. And then in the forest, she's like, yeah, but you guys are wrong. You're wrong. Look at what's happening. You guys are wrong. And it's like, Annie, if you didn't show up to this dumbass island, this wouldn't happen. I know you had literally no choice but to do it, but for you to stand here and to say you're right and they are wrong is asinine. That's also, I hated Yelena too, and Onyakapone.
Oh, Yelena?
Yeah, they were always like, oh, we're right, and it's like, yeah, and you caused a genocide.
But like Oyakabone didn't really do that. It was more Yelena. Oyakabone didn't have any control of this situation really.
Yeah,
He was just along the ride.
I don't know, but like he was also like, you guys have to admit, like in the forest, if I'm remembering correctly, he was trying to play devil's advocate, and I'm like, there is a clear right
Yeah.
here. Like, sure, you can say the Jaegerists are at fault. They are, but let's not forget, every scout member they had with them in the forest were all people who were not Jaegerists. They were all trying to stop Eren. They were never like, they didn't even know what Eren's plan was, and then they're like, you guys are wrong. It's like, these people are fighting with you. Like Annie, Onyakapone, Yelena. If you guys were with anyone else from the military, they would kill you right now. You are literally speaking to the only people in the entire island that agree with you.
Yeah, that are also willing to talk to them as well.
Exactly, and then like so I think like all the Marleyan members, like even Pete and Rhina, or like Rhina was like, I kind of like how he was handling it because he admitted he was wrong, but Pete was like, you Marlians are bad too. Same with like McGaff and everything. They're like, oh, you're all wrong. I'm like, you all.
But she
I get.
But she accepted that both parties had issues with each other for no reason. But that's the thing, though. She understood it.
That's true. I guess she did understand. It's just I always didn't like Gabby, just because like it felt. I get that like they wanted to like be like this is someone who is mega indoctrinated, but it always felt like they weren't giving her nearly enough redeeming qualities. Like I think Falco was a great way to handle it. Like he's a villain technically. But, even he understands, like, there are good people in the world. I think he was a little too, like, for the good guys. Because, like, he's supposed to be a villain, but he's not.
That's how they're kind of portraying him in the anime, more of a hero than villainish. Yeah.
But, like, Gabby, I think they have the same problem with Gabby and Falco, is they went too far in both extremes. Like, they made Falco too sympathetic to the Eldians, and they made Gabby way too unsympathetic. Like, I would have, like, it took way too long for Gabby to be like, there aren't bad Eldians, there are good Eldians, like when the Browse family saves her. Like, that was a good scene, but it's like, that comes after killing Sasha, killing a shitload of guards, and, like, screaming, calling Sasha like a whore and everything. Like,
devils.
Yeah, like
I also felt the
temptress. It's like, listen, like, yeah, sure, you might think that, but you're talking to the fandom's favorite meme, or about her. So you're not winning any favors.
What's about that? And I also felt the scene that they add over, like her trying to like charge in with the hay stick with the trident, the spikes, kind of was like a little not necessary because like she was already antagonized, but they made it more drastic in the anime. I felt than in the manga.
That in manga too.
Yeah.
But like there's more intent, like in anger in the anime.
In manga it does kind of show up even more abruptly because it's suddenly like, oh, she's picking up a pitchfork. But
I'm gonna stab those Eldian devils like a good honorary Marlian.
I was so happy when he turned into a Titan. I was like, look what being an honorary Marlian got you, you dumb bitch. You turned into a Titan anyway.
Oh, dude, I felt bad for freaking Colt.
Yeah, that was heartbreak. He was
couldn't
begging Zeke to not turn Falco into a Titan.
I literally had to turn just to like let that sit in.
Oh, dude, like when it's just so, dude, it's even sadder when he's like holding Falco and he's like, it's okay, your big brother will be here for you.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking. Like, Colt was such a good person and he died.
How many good people died in this Disney anime? Yeah.
Erwin and 80% of the whole population.
The real question should be how many good people didn't die. You'll get a shorter answer.
Yeah. Let's see. There was Erwin, Cole,
every scout,
every
pretty
scout.
much.
Can
Can you honestly say there was a scout where you're like, yeah, fuck that guy. I hope he gets eaten.
No, not even.
Like, they were assholes, but like, I don't think there was ever anyone where you were like, I hope they die a painful death.
Well, I mean, for me at first, I forgot his name. He liked Hitch, but then after a while, he kind of grew on me. Marlo, yeah.
Dude, Marlo died with such bravery. What a G. He stared the Beast Titan down and he said, "Bring it on." I mean, granted, he was like half crying when he died too, but still.
Yeah.
Felt bad for Hitch after I saw that because I knew they liked each other. Like,
you see, she's in the final chapter. If you look, she's one of the. I was like, oh, there she is. I'm like, she's still alive. And
she yawning.
Wait a second. So, is Rico also in there?
Yeah, Rico's there.
Yeah, where's Rico? She never died.
No, Rico's there. Let me.
Dude, did you notice the dude in front of Hitch is the dude that beat up Shadis, Keith Shadis, like with the glasses, the fucking Jaegerist guy that Keith saved?
Wait, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it is, because he has like a longer haircut of that, and he's wearing glasses, and I was like, knowing Isayama, he just picks random background characters, and he's like, you will now be integral.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And then, Rico's in the same panel as Hitch.
Oh, hell yeah. Good for her. That character had such a good design for ultimately being a fucking background character.
Yeah, I kind of wish she was in more. Because
Yeah,
she
I
did seem
remember-
like she was a fun character.
I thought Nanaba and Galgar were gonna like join the main team, and then they get fucking eaten. I was like, well, nice knowing you.
That's a shame.
It's not too, because they were so cool and they were so funny together. Like Lind and Henning, I was like, yeah, they're fucking dead. They both look like each other. They're gone.
I also kind of wish Petra kind of lived at a Levi squad. Or like one person Levi squad.
Alright,
Yeah. Night view.
So, are there, like, do you guys have, like, a waifu from the series? Or is it more like
Historia.
okay. Or is it more just, like, a story that really doesn't...
I don't know,
Need
because
one.
like the story doesn't have like any ecchi or like romance in it, so like I never thought about it. But like all the girls are good. Like
Yeah.
Negus is great, Peak is great, Historia is great. Not Annie though. I'm not
No.
into Annie.
What about a past Ymir?
You'd be like Armin.
No, Ymir 2.0.
For like,
Oh yeah, duh, New Ymir. She was cool. I don't know. She was like, I don't know. I'm not a Freckles guy.
Do you guys
that's
think?
why.
Do you guys think that Mikasa's could crush me with her? Could crush my head with her thighs?
who?
Mikasa.
She could? Mikasa
Yeah.
has a six pack.
Cool. Cool. Someone can finally end my misery.
It's the one way to go out with honor. I'd have to say either Historia or Peak, because I'm like, Historia is the character I like more, but I'm like, Peak is legitimately like, for lack of a better term, peak waifu material.
Ooh.
Wait, actually, no, hold on. Historia or Hitch?
Ooh, Hitch is great. No, Hitch is awesome. She's so good. Cause like it's sad because she really liked Marlowe.
Yeah.
Marlowe, the Marleyan King.
Yeah, literally anyone that started with MAR just died.
Yes.
Yeah, Marlowe, Marco.
Mario, like, set a week ago.
If your name had AR in it, you were also dead. Carla.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I don't want to, like, get off the topic really quick, but I just have to say, Mario died so Pac-Man could live.
Live. So he can fucking live. Hell yeah.
It's so good because, like, Pac-Man, like, the new Pac-Man games, not that good. But the classic Pac-Man you can never go wrong with. So,
Hell yeah.
anyways, back to Attack on Titan, if there's
What's
anything...
Actually,
Oh.
yeah, I got another question for you guys. What character death do you think could have been avoided? Besides Armin.
Sasha!
Wait, Armin didn't die though.
Armin did not die.
Well, no, I'm saying because he had to change Armin's death.
No, Armin.
No.
No. No,
Well, he
that was
technically died because when Bertolt killed him until he gave him the.
Well, no, he
Bertolt.
wasn't dead. He was on death's door.
Yeah.
But,
Wow, I thought he was dead.
No, because then he wouldn't have been able to get the power. You have to be alive.
So-
because he like coughs. Because if you
Okay.
die, you're just fucked. But
Yeah.
if you're even, like Levi says, like even if you're on the brink of death, if you get turned into a Titan and then eat a shifter, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
So that is the dilemma.
Yeah,
So-
never mind then.
So yeah, my choice is Sasha, because we knew he could have avoided it, because he already did.
No, he planned to kill her.
No,
No,
he
like,
did
didn't
plan
want
to kill her.
He tried to avoid it, and it happened anyway.
Oh,
That's why.
yeah.
That's why he laughs when she dies, is because he literally did her saying the same last words as what he saw, is him symbolically realizing that like, on the road to avoid something such as Sasha's death, he is inevitably the reason she died. Like that's the reason in episode 9 when he like is like, we need to show the world our strength, and then shoots his gun. It transitions to the flashback of Sasha getting shot. Like
No,
the writers are literally saying Eren metaphorically killed Sasha.
well, yeah, no, what I'm talking about is Isayama, right? Planned to kill Sasha. The editor said, no, she's my favorite character. And then he lived. And then she lived, right? So
Yeah,
Sasha
no,
then
like-
dies to the fucking 12-year-old.
She was gonna die to a Titan. I think she had a much more graceful death than what was planned. She was gonna get
Yeah,
died
she
of-
was going.
I mean, granted, she got shot in the lung, but at least she died quick.
So,
Granted, I mean, getting
we-
eaten by Titans
and,
sometimes
and
fast.
I'm pretty sure that Isayama wrote in Sasha's death just because he wanted her to die. So I really do believe it could have been avoided.
Yeah,
He probably knew that people liked her a lot. That's why.
Yeah, because like, you know, it's not like she has too much going on in the story. I guess so. You know, she's a good character to kill. I agree
mean-
with you, Kyle. She was a pretty avoidable death, but
I mean, she had her
I
mini
will-
arc.
I will forever, for absolute ever, stand the one death that could have been avoided, and it was. I hate to say it like this, but it's all their fucking fault. Is Marco? If he had kept his goddamn mouth shut, if
Oh,
he didn't
that,
say
yeah.
what are you two talking about, if they had turned around and he was like, "Hey guys, just killed a Titan. Pretty cool. Aaron's a Titan, right?" Maybe they would have still been suspicious of him, but he could have gotten to another fucking person. But instead, he's like, "What are you guys talking about? Turning into Titans? That's weird. Unless, oh no."
Reiner,
I'm gonna go
ultimate
now.
Pikachu face.
What's it called? Speaking of that, I saw an iFunny that was like, this all could have been avoided if Reiner was talking about his dick.
Yeah. If Marco had gotten to them, he would have saved them maybe half a season. It's also just sad because I think Marco has one of the saddest death scenes because you just have to hear him beg for his life, and just for them to be like, no, we're not going to save you.
Why couldn't you just talked it out, bro?
And then later on, his best friend finds out how he actually died, too.
Dude, I love that part of the discussion so much because how pissed Jean is. He's literally like, "Fuck you for killing my friend."
Yeah.
And also, like, how Jean was offered to be a Jaegerist, and when he doesn't take it, they're like, "I'm shocked you didn't do it, Jean. Like, it kind of seems like right up your alley." And he's like, "Yeah, I should have." And he goes, "But those bones turned to ash would have been pretty mad with me if I did." Like, he's literally, because what Marco said to Jean really fucking resonated. You know, like, I don't think you're a good leader because you're strong. I think you're a good leader because you know what it is to be weak.
Yeah.
So that's another S tier character is Jean. He's amazing.
There it is, I found it.
What is it?
What did you mean by my Titan, Reiner? Pretend you're talking about you did. Just kill him.
Just kill him.
I don't know why this reminds me of that, but it reminds me of Guardians 2 when it's just like, I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot. No! What is wrong with you?
I knew you would appreciate it.
Who has a better story?
Story than Farmer.
He's the true hero.
I'm telling you, Farmer Coon is the Chad of the story. The whole fandom wanted Aaron, wanted Chad Yeager.
Had Jaeger to be on parody still.
Bro, the farmer, the farmer is literally Bran. Oh my god. Damn.
The real brand is fucking Historia. She has not shit. So, technically, the last thing she did that was plot relevant, other than like being the queen, was getting pregnant.
Damn.
Like, not to be mean or anything, but like even in season 3, part 2, she doesn't fucking do anything. I receive paths, you receive rumbling. It's not nice to be mean. Eat my fists. We're not in Naruto. I do like how Armin hit him with the fucking $2 haymaker one more time.
Yeah.
Dollar haymaker.
Alright, what was your guys' favorite opening?
OP.
Sasageo.
Sasageo. Yeah, easy.
Is that the first one?
Nah, it's the third one.
Third
It's
one.
Season 2's opening.
Okay.
Second one would be the first opening, but...
Because my favorite's the first one.
I like Shikabane no Michi. I think that's the
Which one's that one?
OP5 I think it is.
That's
Oh, part 2.
Yeah, season 3.
That's a
part
good one.
I really like that one.
The only thing I don't like about that opening is that visually it spoils the whole season.
Yeah.
But, like, luckily,
That's
the whole
funny.
song, like if you want to listen to the whole song, you don't get visuals to it, so it's like it's fine.
No, but Kyle, it shows everything that's gonna happen in part 2. Like,
The
In
only thing
almost
it
in
doesn't
order.
spoil is
That's
like,
hilarious.
It shows literally the whole fight. It even tells you who gets the Colossal Titan.
and it also shows that they get to see the sea, pretty much.
That's so interesting because I remember because I was reading at that point like monthly when I think they saw the sea because that was what like 90, right? 90ish.
Yeah, I remember when you were reading it.
Cause I was cause I read it like I read up until 94 cause that was like the first start of it.
The Marley arc, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, like, even I was like, damn, they dropped the ball, but then, like, I reread what happened, I, like, learned what happened, and I was like, oh, never mind, Attack of Titan's godlike.
Like I think like when you're doing it monthly, that kind of pacing is like a bit, but like when you're watching it as a weekly show, I completely get it.
Yeah, like, I think 5 episodes, or, like, 4 episodes of, like, dealing with Marley is way more manageable than 10 months of it. Because can you imagine being like, oh, that's so cool, they're at the ocean, and then Isayama reaching in and going, you're not going to see the main cast for a year in real time. Get ready, you're going to meet the bad guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of openings, what was your favorite, like, even not opening song, but like opening animations, like as the opening song is playing? Yeah, the visuals.
OP1, easy.
I like OP2.
I don't remember that much off the top of my head, so I can't really say.
What's your least favorite opening? We'll go full opening and like song and audio and visuals if you want.
The one, well, I've only seen the 2, so and I'm not really that big of a fan of opening 2, so I am inclined to say it. Like, that's probably an unpopular opinion because I'm sure that all of them are liked, but I'm not a fan of 2 that much.
People don't really talk about OP2 because it's sandwiched between OP1 and 3, which are like arguably
Bangers.
So
yeah, they just are.
For me, it's Red Swan. I don't like Red Swan that much.
I like Red Swan.
I'm conflicted because I really like Red Swan. I just really don't like that it's an Attack on Titan opening.
Yeah, that's my issue with it.
Like,
That's
if
fair.
this was the OVA to like Lost Girls, I'd be like, this is fine. Like, the fact that like the first episode, it's like it's cute because it's like, oh, everyone's kind of depressed and they're all kind of recollect. And then at the end of season 3, part 1, it's like everyone's going through shit because of their past. But then like think about the second opening. You watch fucking Kenny shoot at Levi. He kills 3 people. Levi killed like 3 people. He zips away, and then you get Fly to Heaven.
Yeah.
Episode 39.
My thing is, I felt like Red Swan. Yeah, I do agree with you guys that Red Swan's a really good song. I just don't think it just fit the show in a sense.
I like it, but it's like
I'm
people are like,
talking
no,
about
it's
it
a
in a
fighting.
purely
What?
I'm talking in a pure like music sense and like in the visuals. I like the song. I like the visuals. I just don't like the place. That's all.
That part, the music and the visuals are perfect. Like you said, it's first place.
It's just like for me, I'm like tonally, it feels like way too off, and like that's a problem I have kind of with season 3 part 2s. Is just because after the fight, like it's cool to get this cool actiony song, but you're like, now we're just going over like shit with Marley and like learning about the secrets of the world, and it's kind of funny. You get like this song where it's like me and then it's like the next scene is just 10 minutes of someone talking.
Lamau.
So I think for me, like what makes or break an opening is like tonal consistency, and like you can't always keep it like that way. Like that's why I like the first one and the second one, because they always that season is always like they're fucking on. So that's his favorite
Yeah.
ending.
I don't remember Attack on Titan ending, so I can't.
Either do I.
Where?
I do. I have 2 that I really liked.
Okay.
It was the second one, which is the second half of season 1. The ending that plays in the episodes that Juno Tsubasa does. Is that one is really, that's the, for you guys if you don't remember, that's the one with the walnut at the beginning where it's like just falling. With the mural of Eren. That one is pretty good.
With the devil and Ymir and a baby.
No, that's season 2's ending. That's the really weird one. That it sounds like a bunch of people who can't sing chanting. The second, it's like more actiony. It's like I'm trying to think. I don't want to. I'm tempted to not sing it because I'm gonna butcher it. But it's like
every chapter in 139, Eren keeps moving forward, single-handedly forced every nation to unite against him. As the evil days, the coldest fucking ice is free with Dilfer's French freedom. Real Historia being genocidal, maniacal with the power of friendship, does not fear death. Virgin chapter 139, Eren does not go anywhere. Did bang Historia. Ooh, gaga, my fucking baby cries, turns to a bird, pukes, leaves, didn't unite shit. Lost to the power of friendship, cringe is not free, scared shitless of death, almost the fucking stepsister.
Damn.
Attack on Titan. Did you say Code Geass?
Damn.
Oh my god, people are actually coping.
Comparing.
They're hoping Mappa is gonna change the ending. God damn it.
Like,
Not with how
I can
they're
see it.
animating shit. I don't think so.
Yeah, good fucking luck. Mappa's gonna forget to draw Eren in a scene. Watch.
I hope so. I hope it's just Eren's discombobulated voice. And they're just like, oh shit.
There's a
Same as-
conspiracy that Mappa hates Eren, and they love Armin because they draw Armin better than Eren.
Lamau.
But I mean, like, it from the manga to whatever they're doing, it looks like it's 1-for-1 though. So I mean, like, it's just shading that's the issue. I feel like.
For me, it's like, I think stills of the anime, it's like, wow. I'm like, wow, it just looks like a really good color panel. And then, like, in motion, I'm like, it's not bad, but, like, it's because, like, I was watching some, like, Wit episodes, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes you can see them, they move a little jank, but, like, not in, like, a, like, Mappa feels like they have better depth of field, whereas Wit, it feels like sometimes, like, you know, they play more on a closer 2D plane, so things don't move weird, but you can tell, and you're like, that's just not drawn very well, but it's far away, so you don't notice unless you're looking for it. But
Yeah.
with Mappa, it's like they have a more 3D perspective. It's like, but everything moves a little weird, or maybe it's just because the shading they use or don't use, or the way they draw characters with the lighting. And also for the fact that you spent 7 years and 3 seasons watching how Wit does it, it kind of feels like you're watching a bootleg version of the show.
Actually, I think it's the way how they draw the characters and shading. Because I've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, the way how the characters look like, how they draw, it's kind of similar if you look at it here and there about the
Yeah.
detail.
I've seen it. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's just like Mappa's style. But it's kind of funny. They legitimately do not know how to draw noses, or like they draw like, the flashback. It's so funny how young everyone looks. Like it looks like they all just graduated from like middle school. And like the
Oh, you're
flashback-
talking about the Warriors? Yeah.
Or well, not even the Warriors, like the main characters, like the scouts, like when they show you what's been going on in Paradis, and like aren't, you know, it's before they got their time skip designs. It's just so funny because it's like they look younger than they did in season 3, and in season 3 they're like 16 or they're 15, and in the flashbacks in season 4 they're supposed to be already almost 2 years older than that. This is funny,
Yeah.
just the way, because like. I remember I was like, Mappa really knows how to draw their time skip designs. Like, they look fucking gorgeous, but I'm like, they don't know how to draw anything from season 1. Like, Rhino looks weird, like his neck is fat, and like, Bertold looks like a Muppet.
I thought he was
Yeah,
dead.
and then, well, flashbacks.
Oh.
And then Annie, she looks more terrifying.
Annie looks even more fucking sick of everything, which is like, good
Yeah.
for, it's like that was something we could keep.
Um,
But then the time skip designs, it's like, oh, they're beautiful. This looks exactly like they should. But I still like. I know I hated when Mappa was doing it in the beginning, but I've changed my ways. I like it. Could it be better? Yeah, but Yeah, I'm getting an anime. I'm happy.
Dude, they made Hitch look even freaking better.
Yeah, I think they took a lot of, I don't know. Whenever I see Hitch, I'm like, it feels like they took a lot of what's the word? Detail out of her, but they kept her facial expressions, which I'm like, all right, that's good because everyone remembers her for that fucking weird ass smile she always does.
Yeah.
That's just like that genuine. My smile is too big for my face.
So where does the final arc hold up compared to the rest of them?
I think very well. I think it's thematically it keeps all the themes that the series was building up. I think it has decent pacing. I think the back half of it is much better paced than the beginning of it, because the beginning of the final arc is like, holy shit, Eren is going to start a genocide. We need to kill all these titans in the Shinganshina district before they eat everybody. And then it's like 3 chapters of like talking, and like it's not that you need action, like you need these chapters to talk, but it's like it's weird because then an action scene happens, and then you get like 2 more chapters of like setup, and it's like good, but then the whole like last bit is just the final fight. So I think the arc is pretty good. What about you guys? How would you guys sum up this arc?
Pacing definitely went well, because like I was rereading chapter 120, literally where the anime just left off, up to the point where he gets to almost activate the rumbling, and I think and then looking at this part again, I think pacing was pretty well done.
Do you consider the final arc, when do you consider it to start?
When the rumbling begins.
I agree. 'Cause, like, I know some people were saying, like, it's when Paths happens, but I always consider that to be the end of the Shinganshina fight.
Yeah, exactly, because after he gets the rumbling begins, no one starts fighting each other anymore. That's when everyone starts to work together.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be sad. Once Eren gets his founding powers, that's gonna be the last time in the anime we see Titans eat people, when they eat all the Marleyans. It's gonna be it. There's no more Titan eating people scenes.
Yeah, you're right. The last scene was basically Falco eating Pac.
Yeah, and like they mention it, they're like, all the Titans, because like they show like the Titans are eating some of the scouts and the Jaegerists. They're like, oh, the Titans ate all the Marleyans. Now they're going after our people. Which I know this is kind of sick, but when they said that, I was like, good. Fuck the Marleyans. They deserve this. I was like, fucking, all you Eldians do are eat people. I'm like, yep, your wish came fucking true. You created the devil.
I mean, yeah, they did. They basically...
I love that.
So I actually have it here. The first chapter was named Visitor of the War of Paradis arc, or Parodies arc.
War of Parody.
Parody arc.
And what chapter is that again?
Visitor is chapter 107.
Yeah, because that's when they make it back to Parody.
That's after the declaration of war, or is that 2 chapters after?
Well, no, that's after Sasha dying.
So is that before? So that's before Paths, I'm assuming, or no?
Yeah, by about 13 chapters.
So yeah, they consider that arc way earlier than you guys do. Does that change your guys' opinion?
Well, I mean, like, I guess you could kind of just consolidate getting back to Parody in the final arc.
I consider
because technically season 1 is like 4 different arcs, but some people only consider it like 2. Like some people say like the fall of Shinganshina is its own arc, but like, can you really call 3 episodes an arc? And most people just call it the Battle of Trost arc, which is the first 15 episodes. And then, interestingly enough, the 57th expedition, or the Clash of the Titans arc, starts at the end of season 1. Most people say the fight with Annie is what starts that arc, which is all of season 2 and the end of season 1. So like season 1 is like it's always been weird when arcs are, when they start, what counts as being in a major arc or what is a major arc. Like,
I definitely think the end of season 1 definitely started the next arc, because then that was able to like cause more, I think, characters that communicate, struggle, understand like what's going on, how to deal with it.
yeah. What? We already said what you guys' favorite season.
I'm gonna be honest, like my brain is just like dead. Like I don't know, like my brain is just fried. I don't. So
The glory of Attack on Titan, man.
I'm just thinking about other manga that I need to catch up on. That like
You like what?
that. So all right. So one of the manga that I really like a lot, because like the first like story arc, I should say, like just got to me and I bawled my eyes out at the end of it. It's called The Faraway Paladin, or Sixtieth no Paladin. So basically it starts off with a person getting, so it is a reincarnation thing.
It's an isekai.
It is, yeah, it's an isekai. So person, I forget where he comes from, gets reincarnated into this kid that gets raised by basically 3 undead people. I forget what the first guy technically is, but he's like a skeleton with muscles. Another one is basically a mummy, but not like Egyptian mummy kind of thing. And then the last one is a ghost. These three people, these 3 undead are basically former heroes that sealed away the big bad evil guy a while ago, and they're basically raising this. I forgot his actual name off the top of my head. But basically, they're raising him, and like they're raising him like actual parents and stuff, and it's really cool and things. And then when plot stuff happens, and then it's like, all right, we're gonna have to fight this thing, and then it's like, oh yeah, all this happens. Like, there's so many like just story things that hit me in the heart. I was like, damn, I really like this. And then like I bawled my eyes out after reading a few things.
Hell
like,
yeah.
So the mummy, she used to be a priest, a really devout priest, to this goddess, and now that she's undead, if an undead tries to pray to whatever priest, they will it hurts them, like they can't pray to like the gods anymore because they're dead and stuff.
Right.
But even so, she still continues to pray to her goddess, and when she does that, she literally sets herself on fire when she prays to her goddess, and she does it every single day to help feed the kid. And at one point during the story, the kid walks in, like she says, like, all right, you can't go in through these doors at this time, and you know, all right, that's the rules. And then one day he's like, I'm a curious kid, I'm gonna find out what she's doing. And he opens the door and sees her praying, and he sees her on fire, and he tries to save her and ends up giving him a whole bunch of burn scars and stuff and things. But like, anyway, when fight things happen, mummy person is about to die or get hit or something, and then she eventually gets saved by her goddess, and it's just like, it's like I never hated you. I never hated you. Like I don't do this out of this. Like if I could, I was like, oh, my heart. Like she knows she's been doing it. It's like, oh. And then when people had to say their goodbyes and stuff and things, it's like, hey, remember like a few hours ago when you started reading this, and this room was filled with all 4 people, and they're all happy. Yeah, now it's empty. It's him, and he's leaving now because he's all grown up, and he's ready to go out in the world and stuff. And it's just like, damn. Like, I read one text bubble, and then I started to tear up again because I looked at the whole room, and it's like, they used to do everything in this room. They had so much fun. They were a happy family. Just
And
like,
now they're gone.
Now they're gone. And it's like, damn. So that's one of the manga that I really love. And right now the story's like gone on quite a bit from that. But like that first arc.
What was this for?
That was like Sixtieth no Paladin, or the Faraway Paladin.
Okay, I'm sorry. I left for like a couple of minutes because there was a spider and I killed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good, Brandon.
So yeah. So now he's going around and trying to help people with their problems, and he's made friend with this half elf guy, and it's neat. So not only is he strong with magic, but he's strong like with So he got trained by a former warrior hero. So there's that. He also got trained in magic by the greatest wizard of that time, basically. Technically, the wizard's still alive too, because he's a ghost and things. So he's watching over the seal. But yeah, he's like, all right, kid, you gotta go. Like, I've done my job. I can't leave this place. I'm gonna keep watching over it. But you have a life to live. Go.
I see.
And the other two went away because their duties have been fulfilled, more or less.
Freaking.
But I'm
sorry. Real quick. Freaking. Dude, now I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I can't wait until in the anime when Levi sees the scouts. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so beautiful. Like, he saw Erwin and Hanji, and OG Levi squad was there, and Nanaba and Gallagher and Mike. I'm like, oh, they were, and Sis and Ness. I'm like, oh, they're all there. They're watching you, Levi. They're proud of you. I was like, oh, fuck, is Levi just gonna die here? I was so scared, man.
I was wondering, too, if he was, like...
I was like, I didn't...
I was waiting for, like, the one single tear, and then it just arm drops. Because that's what I felt like it was going to happen.
If his arm had dropped when he had saluted, like, it's just sad, because, like, it's not like Levi hates the scouts, but it's just like, you just don't see patriotism from him. He's more of a follow orders because that's who's above you kind of person.
That's why he adored Erwin, because he also saw him as an equal as well.
Yeah, like he said in the OVA, he was like, Erwin, I will follow you. Follow you to the end. Yeah, but whatever Erwin said, Levi was like, okay, you know better. And he knew they were watching. And then even Sasha showed up, didn't say anything, but just to let him know that it was okay.
Have I told you guys about Sozo no Feiren or Feiren at the funeral?
Before you tell us, can I ask one more question and then I can end off the video?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. What do you guys rank Attack on Titan overall?
10 out of 10. Nope, he's asked.
I don't have to ask.
I think I still think that there are problems with the series. There are sometimes where I've been reading it or watching it where I'm like, God, I just wish, I feel like I wish this could have been better, or like, this isn't exactly the best thing in the world, but to me, you can think something is perfect with flaws included. I don't think anything is objectively perfect, but I do believe there's a thing as being subjectively perfect. And to me, the series had everything I wanted. It was very well written. It had really good action, dialogue. Its symbolism was very strong, and the characters were very well written. And this series was really good at making me feel what it wanted me to. I've been so tense as if a Titan was coming to reach out to eat me. It's just pages of a comic, of a manga, but I still, I've been tense, I've been sad, I've been happy, relieved, and I've been every emotion the manga wanted me to have. And it was just so beautiful to see it, come to this conclusion. So I'd give it a 10. It's literally one of my favorite things ever, and it's kind of sad to know that it's over, that there's no more from it.
9 out of 10 for me. Yeah. Words.
And Nick, you agreed?
Yeah, I mean 9.5.
Out of 10. I give it 2. I have to give it 2 scores.
Okay.
So my first one is gonna be as a binge show or read. I give it a 9.5. I think that when you're just watching it as a whole, great show. I think that it works.
Right.
When you're reading it month to month as a manga, and especially cause I did I don't remember when season 1 ends. So from that, basically I caught up, and then all the way to 94.
You were reading from 2013, 2014-ish, all the way up to 2016.
Yeah. So
2 years
I
versus-
have to judge it based off of my own experience, which is
Right.
gonna give it which is a 7.5 if it's monthly. If you're waiting monthly for some of those chapters, it it was like why am I like reading this? I know I'm gonna be disappointed. I should wait until something good happens. And every single month, by the way, I knew someone, not one of you guys, someone I knew that was overseas, and they hyped up this chapter, and it was like these like last 4 or 5 chapters when like we were just in Marley, and like and it's just like it's like right now with My Hero, like I'm not hyped to read My Hero right now
I get that.
because of like because of that, and it gets dropped down 2 points almost because of like because of my experience reading it monthly. So as a monthly read, I can't recommend it. If you're watching it as an anime, or if you're binge watching or reading it just as a whole, great. I think it's probably phenomenal because you get to understand a lot more. It's like someone. Because I have like a weird memory, because like if I truly really care about something, I will remember all of it. I can legitimately attest One Piece remembering like very minor things to the phone game, because without that I would never know who the fuck was on Dofi's team, or the shit people from like Dressrosa, or like anything like that. So that stuff I remember. So every week I'm like, oh, that was this person, or that was that person. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people that are freaks that don't even need a phone game to do that. But and then I guess like with Avengers and whatnot, or Marvel, like even though they only come out like 3 or 4 like every year, I kind of just remember things, or I try to like remember it, or I try to like research it before I go in or whatever. And like I guess I don't know, there's just like a point where it just drops off to me, like, and I'm sure, and then like but everything that I hear like 10, 12 or 10, 15, 20 chapters later, it's amazing again, and it's just like, okay, but like why did we have to what?
I was gonna say, it to the series is not perfect pacing.
Yeah.
I think that's the one cardinal sin of the series is that.
I think they fixed that. I mean, they fixed that in season 3. I feel like
they do. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like just like, especially I think the format at which, as I agree that I definitely think Attack on Titan is a kind of show where like it kind of has a lot. Like, you're asking a lot of questions in the beginning, and you are given half answers in the middle, and then you were just dumped full answers near the end. And it just is unfortunate because it's a monthly manga, so it's also a show that doesn't have too much expository dialogue.
Yeah.
After you understand something, like there's never a scene. Like, once you realize why Eren needs Zeke to activate the founding, you're not going to get characters re-explaining it ever again, because the story expects you to remember, because it just does not have the time, nor is it like at the level where it is going to exposit everything to you over again. Like, the story's like, listen, if you don't remember, I hate to break it to you, but I'm not going to keep explaining it to you.
And that's kind of how
unfortunate. So it's like, and especially with the anime, it's like it had a 4-year break, and then it gets a year break, and then a 1.5-year break, and now it's getting another year break. It's definitely a show where, like, if you watch the whole season, like, seasons not too far after the other, you'll forget less, and thus remember more, and then not be confused more, and then be more invested.
Yeah, so it's like, and my thing is, like, as you know, I'm not a big fan of being confused for too long.
No, I get you. I agree. I definitely think just even the way the series is released, its pacing has been not good.
And
it could have been improved.
Am I knocking it as a story? No. Am I knocking it as a...
That's a valid criticism.
as a like, you know, as like as an art style. No, what I'm criticizing is he decided this is going to be monthly, or whoever decided this was going to be monthly, and
unfortunately, it's Isayama's skill that decided it to be monthly. Is because I think he said he spends a week writing it, and then the rest of the month is him drawing it.
which, like, to be fair, you know, like, to each their own, and like a lot of weekly people, you know, like, take, like, take, like, don't have a lot of breaks, and, like, it can end up being, like, very bad, and, like, more power to him. It's just, like, I guess it's just like I'm only, like, it's my one criticism that for me, like, takes away from it. Like, One Piece, even though it's my favorite anime or manga of all time, will never be perfect because of how Dressrosa was. Because of that very, like, long, boring arc that ended solid. I can never give it a perfect score because of that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Every series has some part of it that you just can't make amends with.
Yeah, even if it is just, like, a very minute thing, it's not going to take away... Okay. It's not going to be something that, like, overall is going to take away from it, but, like, because I remember the pacing of, like, Marineford, or East Blue, Alabasta, Water 7, like, and even Wano and Whole Cake. Well, Whole Cake, second half. But, like, you know, so, like, pacing is normally fine. It's the one arc, whereas this, I always felt like when I was reading it weekly, or monthly, I'm sorry, there was just that, like, bit of everything, where it was just, like, I wasn't a fan of the pacing, and it did I guess not undermine, but I don't know. It just, like, it just made me less of a fan of, like, what it was, where I stopped and then waited for you guys to end up picking it up for me to, like, hear about it, because it ended up getting good. So, my one gripe just brought me down to that, because I'm not that big on if the ending's bad. Like, yeah, I'll have, like, I might be a bit sour about it, and it might knock a bit, but, like, for me, pacing, I think, is a very big thing.
Yeah, no, it incredibly is, because, like you said, like, One Piece to you is not perfect because of a poorly paced arc.
Yeah. And it sucks, too, because, like, parts of that arc are really good. It's like, it has a solid beginning, an very large portion of its middle. Like it's like the beginning is like 10-20, and then, like, that other half is like 80, and then the last 10 chapters when Luffy finally goes Gear 4.
Yeah.
And it's just like, ugh. So, I don't know. I just, like, I just have to judge it based off of, like, that experience over, like, an overall, like, story perspective, because I didn't, like, read it particularly when it was, you know, getting back to the good part. So, but, you know, so yeah, 7.5, probably up to an 8 for me.
I get you. Nothing wrong with that. It's all very valid criticisms.
But yeah, as a binge, 9.5, definitely. I think pacing's fine.
Calm down, Hinch. I was making Ewon killing on it.
I love that. Should I wait for Brandon to end the video, or... Sorry for my rant, but...
No, you're good.
It was, like, the one thing I had to remember saying.
We can wait for Brandon.
I think the one thing I definitely really did like about the story, or, like, just everything in general, it's not even, like, a story thing. Well, I guess it is a story thing because it is a manga. But I guess, like, the thing I really liked about it is that it took a lot of its inspiration from something that's not really going to be, I guess, more talked about in, like, a lot of shows, because, yeah, there's the one reference of DBZ in Hell with Hitler, but I think that like, not a lot of people are going to touch upon something that's very, what's the word very touchy. Like, a very touchy subject. It's,
kind of
like,
utilitarianism.
yeah.
Or just like the fact that like the Eldians are like a really good like Germany and Jewish people allegory.
Mm-hmm.
They literally wear armbands and live in internment zones.
Like, especially in Japan, where, like, because of, like, everything that happened with, like, Pearl Harbor and the nukes, and, like, it's probably not a really big thing to start talking, like, not a really big thing to talk about it there. And, like, even, because I know, like, even in Germany they don't really talk about it that much too.
But, like, you are right, because, like, the Colossal Titan is literally, like, to show
A
how
nuke.
good it is, it's a nuke. And then during one of the last chapters, during the rumbling, there's a part where there's a bunch of people at basically a Shinto shrine, just praying, waiting for death to come for them. And it's a direct reference to a very famous picture of, I think it's Nagasaki, it's either that or Hiroshima. And it's a destroyed monastery with the only thing left being one of those, of course I don't know the name of what they are, one of those pillar things at, like, you know, a Shinto Japanese shrine. It's like the only thing left standing. You know, just
The obelisk.
Yeah, like one of the things like you walk under and through. It's just like it's just the one thing that was left, and it's like, yep, that is literally what he wanted you to feel like it was the end of the world. Because remember, to Japan, you know, in America, when we use nukes, we get superheroes, and when Japan uses nukes, they get Godzilla. You know, they get a monster that destroys cities, or a Titan that destroys all of Shinganshina district.
Mm-hmm. So it's like,
So,
I am back.
alright. So, but yeah, like, that's pretty much, I do like that it is something different compared to, like other shows that will reference stuff, but, like, not as, I guess, not as, like, touchy as that, because I think it is, like, it is something that should be talked about because it happened, you know? Or, well, it shouldn't be, like, praised, but it should be, it shouldn't be, like, discouraged to at least, like, reference.
yeah.
So, that's my opinion. But yeah, Brandon's back. Do we have anything else to say about Attack on Titan?
I'm sad to see it gone, but I'm not gonna cry because it's over. I'm gonna smile because it happened.
Good quote.
It's a quote by Dr. Seuss. It's very powerful. It's very true. So I'm very sad that there's no more chapters coming, but I'm glad that it ended, to me at least, on a high note.
Jack, you're not allowed to mention Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, he's bad now.
He's been canceled. Jack, you're gonna get my video demonetized because we make all of the money.
True.
God damn it, Jack. I'm just ending the video. Fuck. Just fuck. Just now I'm canceled. Thanks a lot, Jack.
Like
God.
the beginning of this year.
God
or
damn
something
it.
like that.